Okay. Okay, good evening, everybody. It is August the 15th. My name is Danny Wells, and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne International and Regional Vice President. And this is our monthly area training, which is normally in person, but we are having a spectacular session on Zoom this week. So, without further ado, I'm going to kick off. So, coming up on tonight's agenda, we're going to start off the first 5 minutes with week 8 IPA, which technically should have been done yesterday. So we normally do IPA on a Sunday night, but myself and the well-known area manager, that is Suzanne Wells, were stuck on the M1 for an extra 3 hours last night, driving back from a car presentation, and my thoughts go out to whatever happened that caused the closure on the M1. We were stuck on it forever, and I had to take Farah out the car to wee on the side of the motorway, which is something that I never ever want to repeat ever again. When you've got girls, it's like practically impossible to take them out of the car and wee on the side of a motorway. And anyway, so we're going to go through that in just a second. And then we're going to be followed on by Executive District Manager Fiona Stevenson, who is training on world-class habits. We're in for a massive treat there. Followed by District Manager Natalie Crawfo, the beauty up north, who's going to train on her story so far, her why. And then we've got Executive Area Manager Jennifer Cowie, training on Don't Lose Your Dreams. We love Jen's trainings. And then we've got Executive District Manager Jane Brown training, followed by Area Manager Suzanne Wells. And then by no means least, we've got the very high energy, beautiful Executive District Manager Vic McHale, training on getting back into the game. So I'm just going to kick off with the IPA, because we did obviously miss it yesterday because of the situation with being stuck on the motorway. So first of all, photos from week 6, how we all got on. So I've got them up on here. So week 6, last week, so every week we're setting ourselves these little tasks, these little challenges that we are trying to accomplish, or at least trying to do as much as what we can do from Sunday to Sunday. So last week we had the daily 5. So for 5 days of the week, so between last Sunday and yesterday, and you had a bonus day yesterday as well, we needed to choose 5 days where we were dedicating 1.5 hours towards our business. And in that 1.5 hours, we had read 1 chapter of a book, make a new friend or a connection, either online or in person, book 1 appointment. And that was what I struggled the most with. It really highlighted my weakness, this did. We had to spend some time, 15 minutes, doing some follow-up, so follow-up messages or phone calls with people, and then listening to an audio of your choice. But we did have some suggestions, which were the Hetty Gifford Back to Basics. And then we had some photos to follow. So I'll just show these photos. Okay, so there's some photos. So who is on the call that's happy to unmute themselves and let us know how you got on with last week's daily 5 towards the IPA challenge?
Yeah, I'll go.
Go on then, Natalie.
I love the IPA, I really do. And I think, like you, Danny, I think I noticed my weaknesses. And again, it wasn't actually the reading for once. It normally is the reading. But no, I pulled my socks up and got my head in a book. It was not booking appointments, but it's waiting for replies, waiting for them to get back to you, and sort of getting round to feeling like you're not pressuring them into it, but you're like, no, come on, I need this appointment. So yeah, that was my struggle. I did complete it, however, but it was tough. And I did sort of feel like I was constantly, badgering people.
Oh, bless you. Well done for completing it. Well done. Well done, Natalie. Did anyone else want to share anything about the IPA from last week? I definitely found the appointments the most challenging, like everybody else. Okay, screen again, and I will announce what this week's challenges are. So from the current slide. Okay, oh, I've skipped it. Okay, so number one, so the challenges, the tasks for this week. So from today up until Sunday. First of all, number one, record your own Discover Arbonne, either alone or join up with another 1 or 2 consultants. So you can have just you can have 2 of you, you can have 3 of you. And what I've done is I've showed you how to actually find Discover Arbonne so that you can download it onto the device that you use. So you log into your website, go to the source here, type in Discover Arbonne, and it will come up with the presentation. And then all you need to do is open it up and click on this button here, and it will download it for you. So that is so that it's on your laptop. And then once it's on your laptop, and then all you need to do is open up Zoom. If you're using Zoom, obviously you can use another device. Click share screen here at the bottom. Oh, hang on, I've missed a step. Okay, start with video here, start with video. And then it'll open up when you click share screen, and then you just hit record, and that will record the video for you. So that's number one, that's the first challenge. The second challenge this week is to join a social media network group in either New Zealand or Taiwan that you have a common connection with. So whether it be pole fitness, yoga, babies, travel, car, etc. Don't just join a group that you've got absolutely nothing in common with. You know, be authentic, be real, but join a group that you can make some friends, make some connections with. And the people that you make friends with in these groups, they might not necessarily ever do anything to do with your business, but that's not the point. The point is you're building your network, you're building your connections, because they might not have anything to do with your business, products or business, but you'll become friends, and they will refer you to people that they hear that say, oh, I'm going on maternity leave and I don't want to go back to work. I wish there was something I could do from home. Or they will hear people say, oh, I'm always having to wash my hair every few days. It gets greasy so quick. If only there was a shampoo that enabled me to only wash it once a week. You know, they'll hear people say these things and they'll think of you. So join a social media network group to make some friends in New Zealand or Taiwan, but something where you have a genuine connection with. And then what I did, rather than just joining a New Zealand group, I actually got into a bit more of a niche, and I actually looked at what were the towns or the cities in New Zealand. So for me, I chose Dunedin. It's somewhere where I'd like to visit. So I went into Dunedin groups, people that want to travel to Dunedin, people that love health, wellness and beauty in Dunedin, and sort of went in, rather than New Zealand as such, went into like the groups that are more town or city specific. So if somebody was in New Zealand wanted to connect with people in the UK, they could put United Kingdom Health and Wellness or United Kingdom Mums. But if they put it right down to say like Manchester Mums, it's more specific. So that's what I did with New Zealand, and you can do the same with Taiwan as well. So all you need to do is just go into Wikipedia and find out some cities or some towns in Taiwan or New Zealand. Okay, number 3, this was Jen's suggestion. I love it. Listen to Amy Sky's social media training from GTC. We saw this live from the front row, and it was amazing. Absolutely. Amy Sky is a really famous singer, and she was singing at one of the Arbonne events, and then she overheard what Arbonne actually was and decided it was 100% a business that she needed to be involved with, because she believes in the power of residual income. So she started her own Arbonne business. So all you need to do for that is go into YouTube and type in Amy Sky social media training, and it'll be up there at the top. Number 4, it is an IPA challenge, which is income producing activities. So obviously we need to include that. Your challenge, your mission for this week is to book 2 one-to-one appointments, and these really stretch me out my comfort zone, but I think it's a good stretch. There you are at your one-to-one appointment. And then lastly, read an Iron Arbonne story each day for 5 days this week, and all you need to do to find those is go into success.arbonne, and then you can just pick whatever story you want to read. You can go into the countries, you can go into professions, and if you find one that's really great, share it on the team pages, share it with other people, so that everybody can sort of benefit from what we're all reading. So that is this week's IPA. So I'm just going to close that down and then crack on with our training. Let me open up the right page. There we go.
Danny, mine's working at the moment, so I think I can do it from here.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, great. If not, I've got backup. Okay, so a couple of bits of housekeeping. So first of all, this is the last and final week that you can purchase your AAC ticket. Now, I cannot shout about AAC enough. My first year with my Arbonne business, I chose not to attend the once a year annual conference. I don't know what I was thinking, I really don't. And I watched everybody else go off to this little thing, didn't really quite know what it was, didn't really get it, didn't really think it was much of a big deal, maybe a few people around a table. And I watched all the photos go up online, and my stomach sank. I was so jealous and bitter and like annoyed with myself as well, because it was massive. It was a massive conference that thousands of people attended. They got freebies, they got products, they got bags, they got to have fun, they had a party, they had awards, people on stage and getting surprise awards. It was absolutely incredible. And when I watched everybody else come back from AAC, I watched their businesses flourish. And the statistics show that when you come back from AAC, people's businesses sponsoring PCs, clients, consumers and consultants, it grows, your business grows, and people see what you're doing, and it's the evidence that they need as well, and they see your photos go on social media. So while everybody else's business was absolutely exploding that had been to AAC, mine wasn't. And I was like, damn it, I'm never ever missing this event ever in my entire life, ever again. So the next year, which was last year, I went to my first AAC, and it was just incredible. And it's really difficult to put AAC into words, but if you're building this as a business, it's an absolute must. And I can't explain in the right words to you why, but you will thank me or whoever it is that shared AAC with you afterwards. You'll say to them, after you've been to AAC, you'll say, I can't explain why, but thank you, because it's just amazing. It's amazing, the energy, the food, it's everything you've been looking for when you're building this business. And sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's a struggle. AAC is everything that you need right there, almost in a bottle, if you like. So if you haven't already got your ticket, you need to get your ticket. You will be so grateful afterwards. And for me, it was a case of last year, I don't know if I can afford this, I really don't. But what I paid for my AAC ticket and travel and accommodation paid for itself in my September paycheck, when my business over doubled because of AAC. So massively recommend AAC. Next up, we have Nation training in September. It's going to be on Zoom for that month. So that's our region training. Myself and Fiona McCarthy are coming together for Nation training. And it will be on Monday the 5th of September at 7 till 9. The reason why it's on Zoom is because we're at AAC, a lot of us Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and we just felt like it was probably going to be too much for people to come out on Monday, organise childcare, organise travel, and so we made the decision to have it for this month only on Zoom, and the lineup for that is already set in motion, and that is going to be incredible. And then we've got some car presentations coming up. On September the 11th, we've got 2 car presentations, one up north, which is Emma Harrison, and one in the Midlands, which is Leanna Hallam's. And then on September the 18th, we've got Dr. Xavier's car presentation, who is sponsored by Martin McKenzie. He is a world-renowned cosmetic or dermatologist surgeon, something along those lines. And that car presentation will be incredible. I kid you not. Okay, so next up, first up, after me, should I say, we have a wonderful girl in our team. So Fiona Stevenson joined the business coming up to 2 years, I think now. She'll probably be able to confirm that. Fiona's been one of my best friends for many years. When she first heard about Arbonne from me, she was absolutely no way interested at all, but she watched me gain so much from this business, not just financial, but my confidence and the community that we have, the just growing as a person. And I'm so grateful every day that she said yes. Obviously we would still be really good friends if she didn't do Arbonne, but I'm so glad that she does, because it means that we get to do life together more, and our children will get to holiday together. We get to do so much, and I get to watch this girl who I know is absolutely a beautiful flower. She's just incredible. I get to watch her show everybody else what I already know, and that in itself is precious and priceless. So I am so excited to announce our first speaker, which is the beautiful Executive District Manager Fiona Stevenson. She's on top of the world. Fiona, I hate to say it, but I can't hear you now. I could hear you a minute ago. No. Whatever you were doing a second ago, I could hear you fine. Have you done something differently? Because it was fine a moment ago.
No, I don't know
Oh,
what it
yeah,
is.
I can hear you.
I'm on 2 different things. Okay,
Oh.
fine. That's fine. Can you? Am I really echoey?
Speak again.
Is it really, really echoey, or can you cope with it?
I think it's fine.
Okay, we'll try it like this then. I'm on Zoom twice, once on my iPad and once on the laptop. I'm using the microphone from the iPad to talk and the laptop to look. The joys of technology. Right, can you stop screen sharing so that I can, please? Thank you. Okay.
Shall I put some music on while you're doing it?
Okay, good evening everybody, and thank you for tuning in tonight and staying tuned in to listen to me talk away. So I listened to this incredible recording. It was actually one of Stuart Armfield's Zoom calls to his team, and Sarah Dunning came on and delivered some training, and it gave me a big kick up the bum in terms of my business. And I thought, if anyone can kick you up the bum, Sarah Dunning can. So I derived my training from that call. So I'm just going to jump straight in. So it's called World Class Habits by me. Okay, so World Class Habits. Anyone that you look at, anyone that's successful, whether that's athletes or business people, anyone that's successful in life, will always all have fantastic world-class habits. Without exception, because they are necessary for success within your life. And there's 2 important things to remember when you're thinking about creating some world-class habits for yourself, or altering your world-class habits if you already have them. The first one is that it has to work for you. So your world-class habits have to fit into your lifestyle, and it has to work not only for you, but for your family and everyone around you as well. If it doesn't, then it'll be difficult to stick to. So make it easy and workable. And number 2, do not make excuses. So someone in your exact situation right now is making it work for them right now. So I am a mom of 2 young children, and someone out there in Arbonne is a mom of 2 young children and making a huge success of it. So if they can do it, then I can do it, and that's the same with you. So what Danny was saying a minute ago about reading the eye on Arbonne, find someone in your exact situation, and they will be doing it, and they'll be making a success of it. So if they can do it, you can do it. So no excuses there. So you have to find how to make this Arbonne business and your life work and be successful. And these world-class habits that we're going to talk about are a massive help towards that. So it's 100% possible if you want it enough. So excuses are nothing. Now I want to start by reading a quote from a book that I'm sure most of you know, The Miracle Morning. And it says, every time you choose to do the easy thing rather than the right thing, you are shaping your identity. Now, the kind of person who does the easy thing instead of the right thing, you're choosing right then what type of person you want to be. And tiny little decisions throughout your day make up the big decisions. So, for example, your alarm clock. If you set your alarm clock for 7 a.m. and that's what time you're going to get up, and then you hit the snooze button, it doesn't really seem like anything significant, hitting the snooze button and staying in bed for that extra 15 minutes. That's not a huge deal. But actually that action, that's programming our subconscious mind to say we don't follow through with what we say that we're going to do. So if you know that you are choosing the right option, and it's working towards your goals and the type of person that you want to become. Because if you keep hitting that snooze button, keep going for the easy option rather than the right option, it makes you think about the type of person that you are, and the type of self-morals and discipline that you have. So another thing that we can bring it back to in relation to Arbonne is prospecting. So, or, you know, talking to someone new, meeting a new friend. So if you went into a shop, for example, I went into a shop a few days ago, and I was chatting to this woman who was a sales assistant, and I thought she would be absolutely fantastic for Arbonne. But I walked away and I thought, oh, I should have spoken to her. I should have spoken to her about that. But it's the self-talk that comes into play then. In your head, you're saying, oh, you know, I'll go back tomorrow. You talk yourself out of it. You know, she's probably busy anyway. And in that moment, you talk yourself out of making that little step and talking to her, and you make excuses. So instead of making excuses, instead of walking away and saying, I'll talk to her tomorrow, I'll come back tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes, what we need to do is stop and have a little word with ourselves and say, you know, what I'm saying to myself right now is that for me, the reason I do Arbonne is my children. So what I'm saying to myself is my children are not a big enough why to get over this challenge. And really what I need to say is my children are a big enough why. I need to go and speak to this lady now. You know, not leave it till tomorrow, and just go for it. So have a little word with yourself, and just go for it. So if you would rather walk away than do what's the right thing, remind yourself of the ultimate consequence. And the ultimate consequence is that Arbonne isn't going to be successful. You're not going to achieve that life that you're working for. Okay, so every time you take the easy option, you dislike yourself a little bit more as well. So you beat yourself up. Oh, why did I do that? And your self-esteem lowers. Now, Sarah Dunning said something that really spoke to me. She said, protecting and building on your self-esteem and self-worth is one of the most important things that you can do in this business. And do you know what, that really resonated with me, because I thought, well, yeah, because I can't, when I'm doing Arbonne, 1 second, sorry. When I'm doing Arbonne, it's not working for me, I'm not putting the right amount of effort in, it's not working for me, I always seem to think, well, no, maybe I just don't deserve it that much, you know, maybe I'm not like such and such or whoever else, well, maybe I'm not like this area manager or that RVP, you know, maybe it's just not for me, maybe I don't work at it enough, I don't deserve it. Every time I get a no, that's what I say to myself. So Sarah Dunning saying this, protecting and building on your self-esteem and self-worth is one of the most important things you can do in this business. I just stopped then and went, wow, actually, yeah, that is really important. So that has gone in my little book now that's by my bed that I read to myself every morning, that little quote. So your self-esteem and your self-worth. So most problems and issues in your life all come down to that. They come back to your self-esteem. So all the doubts that you have, you know, I'm not good enough, or it won't work for me. It's all self-esteem. So protecting that is a huge. By protecting your self-esteem, you're making the right choices. You can do it by making the right choices every day. That protects your self-esteem. And then she also goes on to say, don't isolate incidents and think that it's only in that one single moment that it's affecting, because it's actually affecting the rest of your life. So that not talking to that lady in the shop or hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock, it's not just that single moment that it's affecting. It's all those tiny little decisions that build up, that create your personality. And that leads on to another fantastic quote. And it comes up. If you are not going to do it today, you are never going to do it, because tomorrow never comes. And that is so true. So that's the ultimate reality. Tomorrow never comes. So if you're going to do something, do it now. Don't wait. Okay, so creating a world-class routine. Now this will lead to success, and it will also set an example for your team. So it will lead to success within your Arbonne business and also within your life generally, starting your morning with this fantastic world-class routine. And your team, you're setting a good example for your team, and what they see you do, they will do as well. We all know that within Arbonne, with your team, duplication is key. So your team will always do what they see you doing. And And then another thing is, when you read something, if you read a book, if you put reading 10 pages of a book into your world-class routine in the morning, if you read something and then you decide to share that with your team, get them excited to read it. So, oh my God, I'm reading this book and I've learnt this and I've learnt this. And for me, it's the Sales Bible. I read the Sales Bible and it changed the way that I worked my business. I went nearly 2 years without having any preferred clients in this business. I read the Sales Bible and now I've got a handful. And it's because of that book. And I get excited about telling my team about that book, especially the ones that are struggling to get PCs. So explain to them what you've learned from it and get excited about it so that they want to read it too. Get excited about it and inspire them to read the book. And that comes down to everything in your world-class routine. Tell your team that you're doing it. Explain how it makes you feel. Explain what effect it has on your business. So what you really want to do is create a culture of personal development as well. And this is something that I know Danny's done really well within her network and her culture. Everybody talks about personal development, what books they've read, what books they're reading at the moment. And Danny bangs on about it so much because it is so important. And what you see Danny doing, you do. So within her team, the personal development is fantastic, and that's why her team are so successful with Danny. So another quote that you've probably heard a million times: if you want something you don't currently have, you need to do something you are not currently doing. But I'm just going to put this one in. Become something that you are currently not, because that's what you really need to do. So whether that's a change in your building on a character that you've got, or you develop yourself into the type of person, it all comes back to personal development and your self-belief and your self-worth and self-esteem. So it's not just doing something that you currently don't do, that leads on to you becoming something that you are currently not. So it's all about growing yourself as a person. So if you're doing this, then your team's going to do it as well, and you're encouraging your team to become the best version of themselves. So how you start the day affects each day as well. So what you want to do is start with a focused, productive, and successful morning. And if you start your day with a focused, productive, successful morning, that will then naturally lead into focused, productive, successful weeks. And those weeks will lead into focused, productive, successful months. And those months will lead into focused, productive, successful years. And your team will become focused, productive, and successful on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And it goes on and on. But all of this comes back to today. And it comes right back to the choice that you make today. The tiny little choices that you make throughout the day and the big decisions that you make today. So what you did this morning is determine your success in 1 year. It's also determine your success in 3 years and in 5 years. So what will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow that will then determine your success? Okay, so objections to this. We are going to get some objections. I'm just not a morning person is pretty much the biggest objection you're going to get. I'm a night owl. Well, the answer to that, and Sarah Dunning's answer to that, is get over yourself. It's absolute rubbish. And what you tell yourself is what you become. So if you tell yourself that you're not a morning person for 5 years, oh, I hate mornings, I'm not a morning person, I'm more of a night owl, can't do mornings, I need to get up and have a coffee, half an hour extra in bed, otherwise I'm awful to the kids. You're going to feel like that. But if you say, do you know what? I love mornings. I absolutely love mornings. I love waking up that hour early while everyone else is in bed and getting stuff done. If you say I'm up and I'm on it while everyone else is still asleep, I'm winning because they're resting and I'm already an hour ahead. I'm on it. I'm doing my day. I'm an hour ahead of everybody else. It's like I've got to the office an hour early. I've answered all my emails. I'm on it. I'm good. I'm in that right frame of mind. It takes you an hour, doesn't it, to get into it in the office? You're in there. You're working. So you're winning. And if you get that winning mentality, it's all habit. So you can 100% change it. So what you tell yourself is what you become. So tell yourself you are a morning person. You love mornings. And again, that all comes down to self-talk. Okay. So most of you on this call will already have a good habitual morning routine. But if you don't, or if there are some new people on here, then you're going to be really new to this, and just start with one or two of these things and introduce them slowly. Otherwise, it's too different and it'll be too difficult. So if you wake up in the morning and spend an hour doing all of these things all in one go, the next day you're just going to be, it's too much effort. You need to build up to it slowly so that it becomes it's always easy. It's not a massive challenge for you to do to fit in. So the first thing is a gratitude list. So this is your world-class habits. This is your morning routine of world-class habits. So a gratitude list will take 5 minutes of your time, and that's all. And one of the best things that you can do is write down what you're grateful for. And this goes right the way up to when you're an EMVP, because when you are up there, it's, from what I've heard, from what people have said, it's quite easy to lose sight and perspective of what you have and what you've gained and where you've come from. You get so wrapped up in this whirlwind of your fantastic life that sometimes it's nice to sit there for 5 minutes and remind yourself of the really simple things that you're grateful for. So I did this morning, and on mine I put that I'm really grateful that I can run my taps and have clean fresh water for myself and my children. So simple things. I'm really grateful for the people that I have in my life, my family, my daughters, my partner. I'm really happy and grateful for the fact that I live in a country that is in relative peace. I'm really grateful that I have a roof over my head that is safe for us to live in. So right back to basics, and you can put whatever you want on there. It will take 5 minutes. And the next one is read. So 20 minutes. Practice with one page if you're not a reader. I know a lot of people on here aren't readers. And I know for me, reading a fiction I can do it in 3 days and I love it. I can't put it down. But when it comes to personal development books, I do struggle. My mind just sort of wanders off, and it's difficult for me to keep my mind focused. But the more that I practice, the more it's become easier to me now. And now I can just pick it up and read it. I mean, I'm currently, what I've got on my bedside table right now is this book, Beach Money, which is brilliant. I love this book. And it becomes easier and easier. The more you read, the easier it gets. So just build it up. The next one is exercise. Now this isn't half an hour full-on workout. This is one exercise. You know, it could take 2 minutes of your time, just 10 sit-ups or 10 press-ups, or run up and down the stairs a couple of times, or just get, you know, a small weight and do one exercise on each arm. Just a little thing, just to start your day off well with a little bit of exercise. Affirmations. So if you are new on this call and you're not 100% sure what affirmations are, find out, because they are so powerful to your mind, to your subconscious mind. They change the way that your subconscious mind thinks, and they are brilliant. So affirmations, again, takes 2 minutes, just to say a few positive things to start your day off. The next one, visualization. So this, again, 3 minutes, and that's all it'll take out of your day. But it's a really fun one and a really easy one. You can do this while you're eating your breakfast. So what you can do is create a video or a vision board. I've now done a video on my phone, and it's got a backing track to it, and all the things that I want from that Arbone's going to give me, all the things that I would like to give my children and my partner in their life. So a nice home, a pony for my daughter that she keeps going on about, private schooling, to get married, to have another baby, all these things that I'm going to be able to do, you know, work for charity, support my parents. All of this is on my visualization video, and I just sit and watch that while I'm eating my cereal. So it doesn't even take any minutes out of my day. I'm sat there eating my cereal anyway, so I'm watching my visualization video. The next one is meditate. I'm really excited about doing this. I'm going to introduce it in the next week or so. Meditation. So the simplest of things that I've read now is breathe in for 3, hold for 3, and breathe out for 3. So breathe in for 3 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, and breathe out for 3 seconds, and do this for 3 to 5 minutes. It just gets you into that state of peace and gets your mind to stop thinking about everything and just relax. So I'm really excited about trying that one. And then number 7 is journal. So just to jot a few things down that you've learned from the previous day. You can write affirmations in there, so you can combine a couple of them. So you can write down your affirmations and your gratitude list in your journal as well. So again, that combines the time. Any plans that you've got, any ideas that you want to jot down before you forget. And then your last one is your goals. So write down your goals, and not just, I want to be an EMVP by such and such, but break them down. So write down your goals and your daily steps. So every day, write down 1, 2, or 3 actions that you are going to do that day to get you closer to your goals. So you're breaking it right down, and you're doing at least one tiny thing each day that is going to get you closer to that. You're not going one day without working towards your goal. I've got my goals written down. I've wrote down my goals a few times, but they're in notepads somewhere upstairs in my office, and they don't do much good up there. And then I find them every now and again, and I go, oh yeah, that was my goal back then. So writing down the little tiny actions that you're going to do every single day keeps you thinking about your goals every single day and breaks it down. Okay, so tips to make this as easy as possible. The first one is have everything set up. So in the morning, have the book that you're going to read laying there with your notepads to write down your goals, your steps, your journal, things like that. Have your shake ready so that you can be drinking that whilst watching your visualization video. Have your gratitude list there, a little exercise belt, anything. Have it all set up ready so that you don't have to start from scratch with nothing in your mind's eye when you wake up. Set an alarm for reading. So you can start off with 10 minutes and build up to 20. Set an alarm on your phone, put your phone on silent, turn it upside down so that you can't see the notifications pinging along on Facebook. Turn everything else off and just sit there with your book. And if your mind does keep wandering, just bring it straight back in and don't let yourself do anything else for those 10 minutes, just read. Okay, a lot of parents especially decide to get up an hour earlier to fit this in before their children are awake. They find it easy. I know Danny does. She gets up earlier before her children wake up so that she can get this done before her kids are awake. Or if they go to school, do it when they get back. And then, okay, so the first 10 days are the hardest. The first couple of days, you're on a buzz and it's great. By the 3rd or 4th day, you're really not enjoying it. So the first 10 days are the hardest. So push through for 30 days. And after 30 days, it becomes easier and easier to get up an hour earlier. And it becomes a habit then. And once it's a habit and it's built in, it just becomes a part of your life, as easy as, you don't even think about it, like washing your hair. You sit and do your morning routine. It's something that you just don't even think about. So the life we want. So for me, I started Arbonne because I believed that it would give me the life that I wanted to give myself and my children and my family. And that kind of life doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just happen if you decide that you want it to. And Arbonne is the vehicle to get us there. So it's like me having a Mercedes sat on my driveway and not actually getting in there and driving it if I don't do anything. So I need to do the activity. So you have to actively and persistently and in a dedicated fashion design that life, and you have to be strict with that. So work at it every single day. It's easy to let time go by, and it is really easy to say, oh, I'll do that next week. I'll set some time aside to do that next week. And before you know it, a month's gone by and you still haven't done it. So just decide that this is important enough for you to become the person that you need to become to make Arbonne work, and then create that dream life. And again, it all comes back to the decisions that you make today. So start tomorrow morning, set your alarm an hour earlier, get out and do this morning routine, because you do deserve it. Everyone deserves it. We all do. We're all equal. And if you don't change now, then you won't ever change. The discipline is absolutely everything with this. Don't quit on the days that it feels really challenging, and have the strength of self-talk to get you through. So those days that you can't be bothered to get out of bed, or I'd rather rest today, your self-talk has to be stronger than that. No, get up, get out of bed. You will feel better for it in an hour's time. Talk to yourself. This means enough to me. My why means enough to me to get out of bed now when my alarm is telling me to. And then how you do something is how you do everything. So work on the smaller disciplines, and it will develop your stronger disciplines into your daily routine. And it affects every single thing you do. So work hard at it. And I'm sure you've all heard this before. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. And this is an incredible quote. And that's what we have to be. And we owe it to our team to become the best versions of ourselves. And every single person that said yes to us, we owe it to them to work hard and become the best version of ourselves, and then to be able to teach them to become the best version of themselves. And it is what they see, they will do. So we owe it to them. And it starts with you. It starts with the small decisions that we make all the time that will go into the big decisions. So what will you do tomorrow? That's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Fiona, that was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I loved it. And do you know what's really great? Fiona's obviously prepped us all about this miracle morning. Well, I'm actually staying with Fiona this week, so no fear, guys. I will take photos of Fiona, who is going to be up an hour earlier than the kids every morning doing all of these. So don't worry. I'll even make a vision video for you all to share what Fiona is actually, practice what you preach or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it. I loved what you said about how when you went into the shop as well, there was somebody that would have been perfect to hear about Arbonne, and you chickened out. And something that Stacey said to me once when we went to Conkers on a team day out, the wonderful Stacey Humphries Blackley, and there was a guy there that probably should have really heard about what Arbonne was. Like, we really owed it to him, really. And Stacey was like, Danny, go and talk to him. And I was like, no, I'm too scared. Like, no. And she goes, if you don't talk to him, it's a no anyway. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, if you don't talk to somebody, it's a no anyway. So she goes, you might as well just tell them. And if they say no, then they wouldn't. It's a no, even if he didn't say anything. And it was like the penny dropped me then. I was like, you're right. If you speak to somebody, you've got a 50-50 chance of them saying, yeah, I want to know more, or no, thank you. But if you don't say anything, there's a 0% chance that they're going to say, yeah, I want to know. So it's a no anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've never heard it like that before, but that is so true.
It is really, really, really true. And I love what you said about reading. Reading is a muscle as well. So even if you're not really into reading personal development books, ask somebody what's a really great book to start with, something that's not too complex. And it is like a muscle, like you said, set the alarm, start off with 10 minutes and build yourself up. And that's what I've had to do as well. I don't think many of us have found it easy to get necessarily stuck into reading. We've all found it a challenge. But if you're doing it gradually, it's a fantastic habit. Like Fiona just said, these habits that we are forming every day are creating our future, and our children are watching us create these habits as well, and they will be impacted by that positive change in us. Definitely. Okay, right, so let me just share my screen again. Hang on, I'm just trying to find where we are. Oh, there we go. Okay, right, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so earlier on this year, I was contacted by a stranger, complete but very beautiful stranger, who I wasn't even Facebook friends with, to say, oh, hi, my name is Natalie. I'd love to know a little bit more about Arbonne. I did know some people that had an Arbonne business, but I don't really think they've got their business anymore. I don't think that they're running it anymore. And I noticed that you are running yours. Can you tell me a bit more about it? And I had this feeling about this girl, and I can't really describe it, but it was like one of those gut feelings. So I messaged her back and I was like, oh, can I ring you? And Natalie will be able to confirm this or not, but I'm pretty sure we spoke on the phone like within half an hour of her texting, but hopefully she'll be able to remember much better than me. And we spoke on the phone and I asked her a bit about her life. I was like, have you got kids? What do you do? What does your husband do? And I told her about Arbonne, not for her to join, but so that we could work out if it was a right fit for her or not. Because obviously Arbonne isn't a fit for absolutely everybody. And it's our job to work out if we think it is going to be a fit for them or not. And instantly I was like, I think that you could be really, really great at this. And she absolutely has been. Like, we all know Natalie. As soon as she joined the business, she was storming. And she'll mention this, I'm sure, but I went to Vegas just after she started and she was just on it. She absolutely was on it. And I say to Natalie regularly, Natalie, if I drop dead, I know that you would be building this business and I would be a national vice president in my grave because of the QV that you're turning over. I know nothing would stop this girl. And she's become a really good friend to a lot of us now. And I can't imagine the team without Natalie in it anymore. She's just the absolute energy that we all need sometimes when we are having those dips. And she just brings our Facebook page and our team to life. So I'm so, so, so thankful to introduce, telling her story, telling her why tonight, Natalie Crawford.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so lovely. And like, I've had such a busy day today. As you know, I've been at the EE call centre, and that's gone really, really well. But it's been a long day, and yeah, something like that could have just slightly tipped me over the edge, Danny, what you said there. But I've held it in. It's all good. Okay, so yeah,
really great coffee and really great food as well.
Yeah. However, just quickly digressing, I did do some shakes to take with me, but they were for samples for people to try, and I thought, oh, I'll just like grab stuff while I'm there. There must be a canteen or something. Anyway, got there, looked in my purse, I was like, oh my god, I've got no money. I was like, oh, well, I've got my card. I said to the lady, is it okay for card? So she said, oh yeah, that's fine. She said, contactless. And I was like, oh, well, no, it's not contactless. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. She said, oh, well, there's a hash point, but you have to leave the site. And I thought, well, I can't really leave the site, because I can't leave my stall just like for everyone to just raid. So I thought, oh, I'll just have to like not bother. So I sat there all day, like literally starving. Like honestly, I could have eaten my stomach alive. I was so hungry.
You could have eaten the hand cream. It's all food graded product.
Well, I know. I did think that, but I thought no, because if someone sees me sat there like nibbling away, they'll think, oh my god, not only has she got some like crazy product, she's actually crazy. So I didn't bother doing that. But yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, I was starving. Anyway, a guy came up and he was like, oh, are you all right? I said, oh yeah. I said, I'm good. I said, I'm looking forward to coming home because I'm so hungry. And he was like, oh right, well have you not got any money or anything? I said, oh well, I've got a card, but I can't really leave my stall. And he was like, oh, why don't you use the cash machine in the canteen? And I was like, what do you mean cash machine in the canteen? And he was like, yeah, the cash machine in the canteen. And I said, no, the lady said it was like off the site. And she was like, no, it's in the canteen. So I ran round, saw it, but it was like, I was going in like 5-10 minutes. So I thought, oh. And then I thought, no, do you know what? I am that hungry. I'm going to get something. So I got the money out and the canteen was shut. So I just thought, right, okay, I'm just meant to starve today. I'm meant to fast. It's fine. So sorry about that digressive. I just thought I'd share that with you. So, yeah. Right, my name is Natalie Crawford, for anybody that doesn't know me, and I'm an independent consultant with Arbonne and district manager. And as Danny said, my journey began on the 1st of April 2016, and yes, that is only 5 months ago. And like everybody that's joined, I had a why, and at that point for joining the business, and it is somewhat different to what it is now. And I did sort of realise this as I wrote it out, because I didn't rewrite it until the other day. So I'm a 29-year-old mum to 3 beautiful children. I've got Toby, who's 9, I've got Daisy, who's 7, and Betsy, who's 3. And I'm also a devoted wife to my husband Gary. So when I was approached 1 year ago about joining Arbonne, I hate to admit it, but I was one of those it's too good to be true and that can't be right kind of people. And I actually cared far too much about what other people would say if I started my business and for whatever reason it didn't work. So to be honest, I couldn't bear the laughter and that I told you so's. So of course I chickened out and I said no. And a few months passed. And I found myself completely and utterly drawn to old friends that I went to school with that had joined Arbonne. And I was pulled somewhere from really deep inside. Like, this pull was irritating me. It was like a constant draw to Facebook. And I was looking at their Facebook statuses. And of course, I'd been added to the Arbonne page as well. So that was a constant, like, it was there all the time. And that gut instinct played on my mind most days until one day I think I was sat and I thought to myself, all the things in my life that people told me I could never ever do or never achieve, or I wouldn't be good enough, or, you know, people would just put me down all the time. And I thought, do you know what? I've done them. Every single thing that they've said, I've done. That's just to name a few. A couple was like, I dreamed of being an air hostess from quite a young age. And I did it. I was an air hostess. And another thing, I was so passionate about, well, not passionate. I knew I needed to leave home quite a young age. And a couple of people I spoke to were like, oh, you know, how are you going to do that? You can't do that. And the day after my 16th birthday, I left home. And so I'd done those things. I proved them all wrong, and I'd shown to them and myself that I was more than what they thought of me. But most of all, sadly, what I actually thought of myself. So after listening to my gut instinct, like Daniela said, I plucked up the courage to contact her, the beautiful Daniela Wells, and I needed to find out more. So professional as ever, she showed me all the correct information. And like she said, I can't even remember, I literally can't, but it wasn't long. I texted her and we were on the phone. And she got a solid yes out of me. And I did jump straight in, like no products, no nothing. I just went straight in. I just had this feeling because of that attraction that I've been drawn back to, looking on Facebook at my friends and things. And to be honest, nobody that I've looked at was doing it like Daniela was. But it was just something there, and I was thinking, no, this is something serious. For me to keep going back to something, you know, it's something that I need to be in with. So my why at that point of the journey was strong. When I joined Arbonne, it was strong. And it was because, sadly, my mum had been diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago. And due to that, I filled myself with so much knowledge regarding ingredients that we all know companies put in products. Products that my mum was using, products that myself and my family was using. So I read this book, and the book was called
Was it the Rainbow Diet?
Yeah, the Rainbow Diet, and it was Chris Woollham, he's the author, and it was how to cure cancer, basically. And I filled myself with so much knowledge, and I trawled the internet reading about all these nasty ingredients, and I had to filter the information back to my mum. My mum didn't live near me. She kind of pushed me away as she was going through all the chemo and everything, because that was her way of dealing with it. And although at the time I kind of resented her for that, because obviously I was dealing with it and I couldn't understand why she was pushing her daughter away. Now obviously a bit of time has passed and I've done some self-development and learned about personalities and things, and I know that was her way. She had to deal with her situation, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. But at the time, it was my way of helping and my way of having my little say to try and help her as a daughter. So I was distraught what I found out. Parabens, sodium lauryl sulfate, mineral oil, triclosan, and that's just to name a few. I mean, it's disgraceful. So prior to Arbonne, I guess I had the advantage to know all about these products, and I can feel lucky that I had already bagged away all of my products containing these ingredients and switched to a safer brand that I'd found for all the family to use. So when I started with Arbonne, it was the final piece of the puzzle to bag away £6,000 worth of makeup that I had still been using on my clients. Hesitant to add, it actually gut-wrenched me when I kind of dropped it in the bin, just because I was like, oh my God, all that money. So yeah, but it was amazing, and it was quite it was just quite I was relieved. I kind of felt wow. So I finally switched every single thing to Arbonne. So no more trawling for safe cosmetics, nutrition, body and personal care. It was all in my reach under one roof, and I could also offer this to my friends and my family and my clients, safe, pure, beneficial products, and also earn an extra income. That supported my belief in that if you apply onto the skin all those cancer-causing chemicals, it contributes to it. So lastly, to my why, was my husband. My husband Gary was working on the oil rigs and contracting, and I knew that was coming to an end. So I knew that starting my Arbonne journey, it would alleviate some of the financial pressure and provide me with a bit of a plan B that everyone desires to have. So 5 months ago, my why consisted of saving me time, trawling the internet looking for products that were safe, getting my family and friends on board to provide me with extra income and a plan B, as Gary was due to lose his job. So now 5 months later, it's changed a lot, and I've also learned so many valuable lessons, things that have contributed to my why today. The biggest one for me is being that I've spent my whole life trying to live up to the expectations of other people. That can be friends, relatives, close family members. I've always been thinking in the back of my head that no, this is what they want, this is what they expect of me, and that's what I've tried to live up to my whole life, ever since I can remember. But now I know that I am not supposed to be what they expect of me, because that isn't me. It's not authentic, and it's not who I am, and the only person that I can be is me, and that is who I am. So I've learned how to embrace who I am and the reasons that I do what I do. And finally, after 29 years of fighting with myself, I've learned to love myself inside out and to be happy with what I can give to friends, what I can give to family, what I can give to my husband. I'm happy with that, because I know that that's me, and I'm not expected to give something that isn't me, because that's not authentic and it's not real. And I've learned that, and it was quite an eye-opener, really. But it was what's the word? I can't think of the word that I'm after. It was just refreshing, shall we say. It was refreshing to know that's okay. So I'm happy with what I can give, because I am a giver, and that is what makes me happy, to give to other people. And that's also where my why has changed. Instead of it being about receiving that income and saving me the time, that pull that kept drawing me in was because this is my chance in my life to set myself free and give back. So give people opportunities to earn that extra income, to have better health for themselves, to have the time to do things that in their life that pull them in the direction of peace and happiness. And one of the people in my team, Mel, she gets me here, like literally she gets me here, and I'm just eternally grateful that I can have her a part of my team, because she's just so inspirational. And as this journey unfolds, you will hear about Mel, and you will hear her story, and she is just oh, she's just a dream. So I've spent my life also quite lonely, and that was another eye-opener. And now I have the most amazing friends that I can, hand on heart, call true friends. And that for me has been something that I've never, ever had, like literally never. And I'm surrounded by people who want to see you succeed and who want to be an influence that develop me as a person. And that's just incredible, absolutely incredible. And now I feel like I've got my purpose in life, and I can live a life of also giving back to my children by being there for them and being successful. Because my definition of being successful is being the best mum that I can be, being the best wife that I can be, and being the best friend that I can be. So therefore, being the best me. And now, thank God for Arbonne and the journey that I'm about to go on, I can do just that. And that is just worth its weight in gold. So thank you so much for listening. And that is my why of why I'm here and why I do what I do. And I love you all so much.
Oh my gosh, Natalie, my hairs are literally standing on end. That was absolutely incredible. Really, like, you are a VP. You really are a VP. You absolutely are. That was amazing.
Oh, thank you. It proper came from the heart, that literally. I almost, when I was writing it the other day, because I did the Fiona Stevenson thing, and I got up that hour early and thought, do you know what? I am going to write my why. I need to do it because I've got so much on today. I need to get it done before anybody else gets up. So I'm proper living the proof of that, Fiona. But yeah, I wrote it, I was literally just in the zone. I'd done a bit of meditation that morning, so I was there, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to write it. And then I wrote it with all spelling mistakes and words back to front and all sorts, but I knew what it meant. But when I wrote it, I was just like, oh my God, like, I'd zoomed away, write it dead quick, just what came into my head. And then I actually sat back and read it, and I was like, wow, like, in 5 months, I can't believe, I mean, you've all seen me, I've been like this. I have literally been like this on my journey. I've been high, I've been low, I've been high, I've been low, and that is how it is. But that's okay, because it's meant to be like that. If it's not going to be like that, how boring would that be? If it's just going to be straight, plain sailing, or right up here saying, yeah, I'm having a good time every single day, how boring. And when you hear me say my why when I'm VP, you'll be like, oh God, she's had it easy. Like, she's literally had it easy. She's like been sailing through it. How bored would everyone be? Like, you're not going to be going on like looking for my Ion Arbonne whatever. You'll be, no, who's she? She's had it well easy. She's been given on a plate. And I don't, that's just, it's not meant to be like that. Life isn't like that in general, and you need to accept that and just embrace it. Ride the waves, up, the down, the ins, the outs, whatever. Just go with the flow. We're all here together. We all want to help each other. Things in life crop up. You've just got to ride it. But most of all, we are a solid family. And that is one thing, I've never had. So I'm not letting go of that. No way. Over my dead body. Not,
I love it.
So, yeah.
I absolutely love it. And one thing I just want to add as well is, Natalie, if people don't know Natalie, she is one of the most, I don't know how to describe it. She sees the best in people, because when I went up north quite a few times to help Natalie get started with her business, she literally would say to me, oh my God, Daddy, you're going to meet the most amazing person. And she literally says the greatest things about people. She sees the good in everybody. She was like, you're going to meet this girl called Mal. She's amazing. She's got this little girl called Daisy. She's the best mum in the world. She's like so kind. She's so this. And then she was like that about Adelaide, said, oh, she's just absolutely such a blast to be around. She says all of the most incredible traits and things about people. She could see the good in anybody, and she will make sure that you know about all the good qualities that people have. And you'll say, yeah, but they do this, and she's like, I don't care about that. She like completely ignores any of like the bad traits anybody might have, and it's all about the good traits. She really does see the best in everybody, and that, I think, is why she's so special to the whole team, because she really, really does make people feel like they are amazing because they are amazing. She really, really makes you see what you actually are when you're feeling a bit like, am I? She's like, yes, you are. She's a great person to be around.
But I will just quickly say that's because, and I know this firsthand, we are so critical of ourselves.
Oh, she's gone. She obviously didn't want to share anything. I'm sure she'll be back. Okay, right, let's move on then. Right, so next up, I'm sure we've all been waiting for Executive Area Manager Jennifer Cowie, who started her business a couple of years ago. Jen is just beautiful, absolutely everything. Again, like we've already said about other people, kind, giving. She's my massive absolute support, my rock. She's like my sponsor. I like look to Jen for approval and advice and guidance. Her trainings are always so well put together. She is the missing D in my life from the disc training. I don't know how much D, Jen, you actually have in you. That sounds really, really wrong. You know what I'm talking about. But you are like the missing piece to my life. You make me a better Arbonne consultant, and I couldn't imagine living a day without you in it. So I can't wait to hear your training that you put together, Jen, titled Don't Lose Your Dreams.
I forgot how to turn it up, 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 up all night long, up all night long.
So I'm just going to start screen sharing.
And how much D do you have in you?
Do you know what? I'm going to have another look at the profiling. It was pretty high.
Oh, yeah. You've got a lot of D, have you?
Yeah, lots of D. Okay, so I always forget to introduce myself. So I've put a note at the top of my page. For those of you that don't know me, that's on the call and who's watching the recording, my name is Jennifer Cowie. I'm an Executive Area Manager in the Wales region.
Woo! Yeah, baby! Woo! Soon to be Regional Vice President! Woo!
So the training tonight is called Don't Lose Your Dreams, and I've adapted it by the amazing, incredible, one of my heroes, Jim Rohn. Absolutely love Jim Rohn. So I'm going to start now. Okay, so, oh, there we go. Okay. Press it too many times now. There we go. Okay, so the most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree? So don't lose your dreams. So let's get started. And I'm going to be reading this like I'm Jim Rohn. So if you think it doesn't make sense, just imagine I'm Jim Rohn. I can't do the voice. My husband, who's not here, can do the voice really, really well. So let's get started with a little formulation Mr. Shoaf gave me. First of all, divide goals into two parts. The first part is long-range goals. Long-range goals, that's your dreams. Your dreams the next 3, 5, 10, 20, 40 years. Actually, the rest of your life. Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming. Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires your heart and your soul. Dreams. You've got to have a dream. Don't lose your dreams for yourself, for your future, for your family, the dreams of love and enterprise, of travel and of doing things, of becoming something so unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams. Do some dreaming. That's long-range goals. You've got to have those, so that's number one. And here's the second part of goals, short-term goals. So short range goals. Short range goals, that's your dreams for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year. The immediate future. We call these confidence builders because if you set up something short range and you go for it and you get it, you latch onto it, you work really hard and accomplish it, that starts building your feelings for going to get your long range goals. Now, I divided goals into 3 parts, and the first is economic. That's your goals for income, money, profits, business, production. Economics. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. Economics plays a major role in everyone's life. Economics is major, which means it needs to be meticulously planned. Hey, I found out what success is. Success is doing what failures won't. One of the key fundamentals we talk about at the weekend. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I've just got lost. So, here's the second category, things. Make a list of all the things you want, major things as well as little things. So make a wish list. It doesn't matter what things you want at all, it all goes on the list. Part of the fun of having a list is then to check it off. Load up your list. When you check off something major, celebrate. Live it up, have a party when you succeed. See, we all learn from 2 major experiences. One is called the pain of losing, and one is called the joy of winning. We need both of them to succeed. Amplify them, which means make losing painful, really, really painful. And if you've got something for yourself, then congratulate yourself. Self-congratulations is a sign of maturity. Seeking congratulations is a sign of immaturity. Winning and losing, that's what it's all about. It's the name of the game. Now, some people lead such mediocre lives. At the end of the day, they don't know if they're winning or losing. They're just going through the day with their fingers crossed. There is a better way. Personal development. Number 3. These are the goals. They make you stronger, more decisive, to be a speaker, to be a leader, learn a language, all kinds of skills. Personal development skills. That's how you attract good things to you. By the person you become more skillful. Now here is a simple formula for achieving your goals. Work on your goals. Work on them. Setting goals is plain hard work. I don't want to kid you. We haven't come here to kid each other. It's work. I know it's work. That's why a lot of people just let it slide. It is work. Many people work hard on their job, but they don't work hard on their future. They just let that slide. The work involved is making plans. I know most don't. I understand that, but don't let that be you. I understand. Oh, sorry. You've got to be better. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good planner. A wise man once said, the people who are failing to plan are planning to fail. Well said. So work on your goals. Step 2 or B, write your goals down. That's so important. I teach my staff around the world to put their goals in their journal because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. So here's the list of goals I put together 3 weeks ago. So here's the list of goals I put together 2 years ago. Here's some of the changes I made. Here's a change around in my priorities. I scratched off these, I put on those, and this is what I achieved. Study your accomplishments. Study what your desires are, put them on paper and write them down. Here's another reason for writing your goals down. It shows you that you are serious about doing better. And to do better and to be better, you have to get serious. Everybody hopes that they will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plans. I used to have the affliction of passive hope. That's an affliction and it's bad. Probably what is worse than that is happy hope. That's really bad, really, really bad, happy hope. So get serious about your goals. Put them on paper, write them down. There's all kinds. His goals, her goals, financial goals, business goals, family goals. There's so many to work on that if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you will wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, and being what you don't want to be. Now is the time to fix it. So here's the third step to your goals. Check the size of your goals and the kinds of your goals. How big are they? What kind are they? Affects you. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, your personality. Your goals affect how you talk, the way you walk, the way you dress. And all day long, we are being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals, the effect is bad. Some people have so given up on life, they have joined their Thank God It's Friday club. How sad. Surely those are the same people that when life is over, for them they will say, thank God it's over. Don't let that be you. So your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. So a huge thank you to Jim. He's a huge inspiration to me. And this training is actually already on YouTube by Jim Rohn, as well as many others. I would encourage everybody to listen to a bit of Jim Rohn. That's my training. Danny's just come back.
Hey.
Danny's just come back from his cycle.
Oh yeah, let's hear his impression then. Get him on, get him on.
Oh no. Oh no.
Come on, Jim.
Jim, no, I can't do Jim. I've just got him for a bike ride.
So we want to hear it.
I seriously can't. Oh my gosh. How embarrassing is this? I've literally just got him from a bike ride. I'm sweaty.
Don't wish it was easy, wish it was better. Come on, you can say that.
Oh no. Don't wish it was easy. Just wish it was better.
Woo!
Can't do it.
That was good. That was good. You were making me and Suzanne laugh so much in the car yesterday when you were doing your impressions.
Oh, well, I'm pleased it made you happy anyway, but no. Well, I'm sorry to have missed that, but it was my only chance to get out for a little bit of exercise today, but... Oh, it's recording. Jen just pointed at the record time. Okay, it's recorded. Okay, thank you.
Well, whatever you were going to say in the chat. I just wanted to say, Jen, as per usual, fantastic training. And I really liked when you said about, well, you didn't say, but you put a poster on saying make your goals absolutely massive so that you grow into the person that achieves them. And it got me thinking as well about my life now. And this touches on obviously Fiona's habits as well. And even Natalie's doing things that people don't think you can do, but more so your goals. My life now is the way it is because of the goal I set 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, it was to become a family that didn't have the financial pressures of having to say, oh, I can't afford it, I can't afford that. And obviously it's the summer holidays now, and I know, Jen, you're in exactly the same situation. The kids are off school and we're able to spend time with them without saying, well, we're going to have to book childcare for them, that's going to cost money so that I can go to work, yada, yada, yada. And I bumped into somebody at the park today, and then she goes, I just don't know how you build your Arbonne business. Like, I just don't know how you do it. And I said, you know what? Any business that you build takes effort, and it requires you to do things that you might not necessarily want to do. I mean, let's face it, sometimes we don't want to read a book, we don't want to get onto a training, but we do it because after we've done it, we feel amazing. And I would so much rather do the things that I don't want to do to make my Arbonne business a success than do the things I don't want to do working for somebody else. All the things that I used to have to do that I didn't want to do when I was working for somebody else was a million times harder than picking a book up to read a chapter a day when I can't be bothered. I mean, when you think about those two hardships, it's a no-brainer. And now, because I set that goal 2 years ago, that was massive. Like, the thought of being financially free in 2 years' time for us was an unrealistic goal. But like you said, Jen, I broke it down into little chunks, and now here we are 2 years later, and we are financially free. I'm spending all the time that I want to spend with my children, like you are, and it was all thanks to that goal. If I hadn't set that unrealistic goal and then done the things that you need to do that are hard to make Arbonne successful, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I just loved it, Jen. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite ones from Jim.
Yeah, it was really, really great training. You always do good trainings. Okay. Right. Okay. I've messaged Jay, but I can't see her on the Zoom. Jane, are you on the Zoom? No, I don't think she is. I have messaged her, but I didn't see her on the Zoom, so I hope that she's okay. Okay, move on then. So next up, we have my very, very precious mother-in-law, who we all know as the well-known area manager, Suzanne Wells, recorded her clip because of Arbonne for AAC last week. We had an absolute blast. She got pampered. She had the crew running around after her, lighting, sound technicians. We had a really, really great time. And I think that we are all blessed to have Suzanne in our team, because she really does look after us all and keeps us all on track. When we all go a little bit crazy and a bit off on a tangent, she just keeps us all calm and where we should be. And she has sorted out all of the accommodation for all of us at AAC. So we're very, very lucky to have Suzanne in our team. And as always, she does put together really, really great trainings. So please welcome Area Manager Suzanne Wells.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you for that introduction, Danny. Yeah, it's just a good way to say I'm the old fogey of the team, isn't it? That's, you know, calm and cool and collected. I will talk about the video clip a bit later on. But my training, as normal, Danny volunteers you for training, or you know you're doing training when it goes up on a list and it's like, oh, great, yeah, here you go. Thanks for that, Danny. Well, I've been racking my brains and I just haven't come up with anything at all, so that's it. No, I'm joking. I hadn't.
I just had to unmute myself.
I hadn't thought of anything. I've been racking my brains as normal, left it to the last minute, and it was like, oh no, what can I do? I did see Jane at dinner, and she goes, are you ready for tonight? And it's like, no, and I'm at work till 3:30, and I've got to get home and have tea, and I've still not done anything.
Where is Jane? Did she say where she is?
Well, she was at work when I saw her. So, yeah, so that was it. And then I got home, I had to catch up on the Olympics, and then it was like, right, it's 6 o'clock, you know, I'm on in a bit, I've really got to do some training, and I'm pacing up and down and I don't know what to do. I'm getting really frustrated, and everybody's got theirs sorted, and it's like, yeah, typical me, don't know what to do. I flicked through Facebook, couldn't find anything. I went on the source, couldn't find anything. I looked at the Arbonne University, couldn't find anything that I wanted to do. Traipsed upstairs, looked in my books, you know, was getting really agitated. And then I picked up the book that I've just finished reading, which is The Girl Code by Carla Alwill Leiber. And I thought, oh, I'll do something on that then. I'll read a chapter of this. But like I said to Danny, I read it, and it sort of goes in my brain. I think it stays there and it goes out. And I couldn't find a chapter in there that I wanted to do either. So it's like, argh! And then she talks about, she's got a website called the Champagne Diet. So I thought, well, I'll have a look on there as a last resort. And I actually came across on her blog the 6 ways to get inspired when you lost that loving feeling. I should have had Tom Cruise, shouldn't I, Top Gun, and that loving feeling music. So it's a short training on 6 ways to inspire yourself. Now, inspiration is that elusive, magical, addictive, powerful force that we all crave. We all crave inspiration of some form at some time. So it's when you feel unstoppable. When it's gone, and you just feel really deflated, don't you? But when you're inspired, you're like ready to conquer the world. So everyone wants to know how to get it and stay inspired. So she came up with 6 different ways to actually get inspiration. So the first one was stop trying to get inspired, because the more you try, like I said earlier on, I was trying to get inspired to do some training. The more I tried, the more frustrated I got, the more I couldn't think of anything. I was just like getting so wound up. I was racking my brain, and you just end up getting annoyed with yourself. So really, it's like stop trying to get inspired. The next one is to help us. It's basically help someone else. So this could be a workshop, it could be a training, it could actually be anything. Just help someone else, because if you're helping them, if it's helping them to do a training or a workshop, you actually then get ideas while you're doing it. Oh, I could do this, or that's a great idea, I could do something else. So help someone else, because that will help you create ideas. The third one was go live. She talks about going for a walk. You could go for a walk, a jog. Basically, just get up and do something different. Speak to someone, call someone, have a conversation with someone. You could always, I suppose, ring somebody and say, oh, I've got to do this training. Have you got any ideas? I know Danny in the car yesterday was throwing a few at me that I could talk about. So it's like talk to somebody else.
We weren't in the car for very long, though, to have that conversation.
We weren't really, were we? We were too busy playing I Spy. So, otherwise, you could just find yourself, like me earlier on, you're just flicking through the internet and you're just getting nowhere, aren't you? You're looking for inspiration, you're going on Instagram, you're going on any website you can possibly think of and just not getting anywhere. So quite a few of these things I was actually doing earlier on, and I just got up and then tried to change something else. The fourth one was meditate. I know Fiona talked about meditation earlier on, and that's just if you think how your phone stops working, do you know when you've overloaded, well, like Danny, she's overloaded it with all her photos, and she often moans that she's got no memory, it's clogged up, it's just stopped working. Well, your brain's a bit like that. You can overload it too much that it'll actually stop, and you really need to reboot it. So meditate. Just take a few seconds or a few minutes just to sort of switch off your brain. Get rid of those old ideas and thoughts and let new ones come into you. And she said she did this by imagining she was sat at her computer, typing frantically. So like for the training, she'd close her eyes, imagine she was typing a training out frantically and feeling creative. So she just imagined that for a few minutes. She inhaled and held on to that vision, and then she would exhale and let go of all the stress and negativity and all the bad thoughts, and just repeat that 5 or 6 times and see how that works. That will sort of change your mindset a bit and get you thinking and positive. Another one she said was 5 a workout. So she actually got refreshed by doing something called Soul Cycle, which I gathered was on a exercise bike in a class in a dark room with candles and music. And she said as she was biking, she wasn't getting anywhere. I suppose Danny's just been on his bike ride, but he was obviously going somewhere. But you're on there, and I know when I go running, you tend to think of things as you're running, because you try to concentrate on something different than the agony that you're in. Well, I do anyway. So it lets your mind wander, it lets your mind think of things. So try a workout and see how that happens. And also it can change your mindset. I know if I'm feeling a bit, if I go and do a workout, I feel so much better afterwards. So that's the 5th way of trying to inspire yourself. And the 6th way, she says, revamp your workspace. So I'm going to try this at work tomorrow. Switch it around a bit, because if I know at work, if my desk is untidy, I hate it. If it's untidy and I've got work piled under it, I just can't seem to get anywhere. But if I tidy it all up, it looks neat. I put the work on that I want to do. I get inspired to work and do a lot more. So she suggested like putting some fresh flowers on, scented candles, just make your workspace a bit pretty, and that will inspire you. So we all go through flunks, and we all have periods. No matter what we try, we just can't get into the swing of things. So forgive yourself, be gentle with yourself, because it will pass. And this was me earlier on. And if you think of what I started, I was on the computer, I was looking through, I was getting frustrated. I got up, I paced about a bit. I come upstairs, I looked at a book, I threw it down, and then I thought, oh, I'll look at a website, the Champagne Diet, and I found her blog, and this is where I got that from. So that sort of, I suppose, inspired me to do this training when I actually, at that point, you know, a couple of hours ago, had nothing to do. But I think, I know from talking to a lot of people, quite a few people seem to be going through a bit of a slump at the minute. It seems to be the holidays, and it's just trying to get that inspiration. So just maybe try a few of those things while you're doing it, you know, to get creative, speak to people, help somebody. If you're feeling in a dip, you know, go and help somebody else. And also on that theme, it's when you're feeling like that, it's go to events, go to trainings. I mean, we've got AAC coming up, and I know I just cannot wait to get there, because I know by the time, after 2 days, we are just absolutely buzzing. You get so inspired, you get swept up. We said last year you wanted to actually bottle a little bit of it, and it was like today at work, I was like, if I almost had that in a container so I could have just, you know, breathed it in, it would have been fantastic. So AAC is brilliant. Myself and Danny went to a car presentation yesterday, and again, it's just being around people and, you know, listening to different people and getting in with obviously how they all felt, because they've just become a region. It's just inspiring, isn't it? And it makes you want to get back and work harder. And like last week, some of us went to Luke's house last week for a DA, and we just had such a laugh. So it's a case of just mixing with the right people. You know, over the holidays, people are on holidays, you don't get to see them. So when you're feeling like that, I think we need to really do that a bit more, not just have a night where we're just having a laugh rather than concentrating on work and our businesses, to just inspire us a bit more. And yeah, I don't know how, but I did end up making some wacky video. I don't really know why. Maybe it was the 2 glasses of Prosecco I had, I don't know. But to me as well, that was a bit of my personal development, because a couple of years ago, I don't think I would have ever have done that. And I was well up for it. I was having we had such a laugh, and I will put the video up shortly for you all to see, because it was just so funny. But yeah, just get inspired. Just let's all get together, and just, because when we're all together, we just inspire each other. And I think some people struggle when they're on their own and they're trying to think of what to do, and they don't know how to do it or where to start. So that was my little bit of training.
That was fabulous, Suzanne, and it was really great how you said you weren't inspired, you didn't know what to train on, and then at the last minute you trained on being inspired. So how ironic was that? That was great.
Well, that's where I saw it. It was almost, yeah, it just jumped out at me, because it was, I could see some of the things she was talking about I was actually doing. And I know if I'm doing that, I get really frustrated, because the harder I try, the harder it becomes. It's just a case of just switch off, let your mind relax, get it all out there, do something different, and then hopefully it'll come back to you. So yeah, it just sort of like resonated, I suppose, when I saw it.
I love it. And I've actually not read that book.
Haven't you?
No, I'd like to.
I'll let you borrow it then, as I've borrowed one of yours. But,
no,
yeah.
that was good. And what, yeah, girl code. And what you said as well about like going to events, it does kind of fill your cup up, and it kind of injects that passion back into you, because I'm really drawn to people's passion regardless as to what it is about. And I'm not really an animal person, and there's a lady that is really big on helping lost dogs. I see her all the time at the school. And she like runs this charity where if dogs go missing, like she's like gets the phone call in the middle of the night and she starts searching the town. Like, it's not my cup of tea at all, but she's so passionate about it that it makes me drawn to her. I'm like, oh, how's the dog the dog charity thing going, looking for the dogs, and she's like, oh, Danny, I got this call last night and I had to go to this village and I was there for 6 hours trying to find this dog, and she's so passionate that I want to hear more about it. It's honestly not my thing at all, but I'm addicted to her passion, and I think that's what some people are with us. They might not necessarily think that Arbonne is anything for them, but they are drawn to our passion, and our passion is on recharge, on full when we go to events and when we go to these get-togethers. We then go off the next day and see other people, and they're like, oh, what have you been up to? We're like, oh, we had this amazing like last night. I got together with all these other independent business owners, yada yada yada. And people are drawn to that passion and that community and that culture that we all have. And it's great that we have that, because not a lot of other businesses have that, what we have, which is the community and the culture. So I really, really loved all of that training, Suzanne. I think it was great that you didn't have anything planned and that you did that. That was, I don't think anything else could have been more perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so last but definitely by no means least, the girl, in my opinion, changed everything in my business when Vic McHale came knocking on my door, well, not literally, but Facebook-wise, asking me what I did for a job, and I told her about Arbonne, and she wasn't quite sure, and then she went to a DA that was supposed to be in a venue, as all DAs are, but the venue had been double booked, so she ended up watching the Discover Arbonne on a park bench, with a flip chart, like the size of your hand flip chart. God knows why she said yes. She probably thought this was the most unprofessional business I've ever seen, but she did. She said yes. And Vic absolutely changed my business. She was the start of launches for us and PCs and clients and actually doing Arbonne, not just hanging around Arbonne. Vic is just the most beautiful person. She has a PhD. She is a science teacher, and she's just moved jobs to a school starting in September, and she's going to actually be teaching now and helping children that have got extra care needs. So I am really, really grateful for you, Vic, for being a part of our team and for being our trainer tonight. So please welcome Miss Victoria McHale.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Hi, thank you everyone. And that was Phil with his clothes on in that picture, not when he did a bit of a streak earlier. Sorry about that.